this is Melissa from the library today, and I'm here to actually show you some really fun things, a really fun thing to do. And for this session of Graphic Novel Book Club, I thought it'd be really great to make our own kind of graphic novel using a craft book. So basically what a craft book is just a book that looks like this. It's kind of like a notebook, but with craft paper. I thought it'd be really nice to make our own craft book. It's a craft book graphic novel, just with some very simple tools. In your kits that you guys pick up, you're gonna have this cute little graphic novel, or this cute little booklet thing. And then you're also gonna have, because you're gonna also have some other really fun treats, such as this kind of planner for you to plan out your graphic novel. Little plots. So you guys might recognize this kind of plot from when you guys read a graphic novel. And they kind of come in like these like little squares, if you would. They come in different sizes and hands and shapes. So here's another good example of how a graphic, like what I'm talking about right here. You can have as many bubbles as you want, any size squares. I'm sorry, not bubbles, squares. Any type of squares that you want, how many you want, as long as you kind of get your point across. That's kind of all that matters. I'm actually going to include a couple of these planner things in your little packet for you guys to plan out your graphic novel before you take the final plunge and put it in your final copy. Another awesome thing I'm going to add to your little bundle is these little bubbles that I love. If you want your characters to say something and you're like me and you're like, oh, I don't know how to draw a little bubble. So you can have it already done for you. You guys can cut them out, and I'll make sure that they fit well. They're perfect size for your little graphic novel. So I'm also include some other little stuff. I'm not too sure. We'll see what I have. So that way you guys can make it nice and 3D. I'm also going to include perhaps some, let me get my little cart of stuff. Maybe some washi tape and some other little fun trinkets for you to embellish your graphic novel. So we're gonna do this this kind of building of your graphic novel in 3 parts. So each month this fall, we're gonna do like little bits and pieces, and you can follow along with me as we build our graphic novel. As you notice, I don't have a sample to show you guys because I intend to do this with you guys. And then also what I want to do with you guys is I want to book tag a new graphic novel that we have in our collection here at the library. So at the end of this video, you're going to see a very short like book talk, and I'm hoping you guys will like it. And I'm actually going to surround my graphic novel that I create around this book called Baloney and His Friends, and I thought it was just super cute, and the characters are so easy to draw, so I think it'll be kind of fun. In the back of this book, it shows you how to make the characters, how to create the characters. So that's what I'm going to do for my graphic novel that we put together. And this is just a super cute book about Baloney and his friends. So it has Baloney, which is our lead character, as well as our little bee right here. So and his other cute little friends. So stay tuned so you guys can hear more about this really fun book. And then let's get started on how to get started. And this is the first one. This is the first segment of our graphic novel book club, which is prepping and planning. Okay, so to get started for this, I know I typically do the screen down. However, I have to, our little tripod thing is broken, so I had to do it this way for this time only. So what you're gonna do first is you're gonna gather all your materials. And for this, you're gonna need, like I said, your craft book, which is inside your little packet, as well as the cute little planners I have cut out for you, as well as a ruler, a pencil, most important part. I have some markers, so markers would be great, or anything that you may have at home, as well as maybe some scissors. I don't think we're going to use them, but you never know. And then I just have other little stuff that we can add. So like I have washi tape, as well as crayons and a marker, just in case. For this, and that's pretty much about it for this first part. So what we're gonna do is the first step is I'm actually going to count how many sheets in my little graphic novel I have. So this is kind of like the tricky part, is that depending on how long you want your little story to be, basically, or your idea, it could be you can do each page as like a different square, or you can split them in 2, or you can split them in 3. I probably wouldn't do more than that. And then kind of figure it out from there. So like the first thing is first, this is the cover. So you would design your cover, and we'll do the actually design our cover in the next segment, which is the drawing and writing portion. I'm actually going to use this as my title page. So in typical graphic novels, that's usually what they do, is that they actually have a cute little title page for each for the graphic novel. So here's an example of a title page. So yeah, I'm going to save this sheet for that. And then from there, I'm going to count how many sheets there are for us to write stuff in. So I didn't do a very good job of counting, but we have around 30 sheets of plain paper for us to write our little book in. I'm actually not going to use all 30 sheets. I'm probably going to, give or take, I'm probably going to do around 20 different panels. So that's like so this is what they're called, these little segment things. They're called panels. So that's basically what I'm going to do, is I'm going to only do, so for example, this is one panel. So I'm actually just going to do around 20 panels, give or take. And it's up to you whether or not you want to use the back of the sheet, but I'm actually only going to use the front of the sheet. So I'm only going to do like 20, give or take, and then leave the rest for whatever else I can think of. And then, so yeah, I'm going to do that. And then my first step is that, and actually I actually don't have very many of them, planning documents, but I'm actually going to give you guys around 30 of them, so that way you guys can use them to plan out individually your little panels before you draw them into your graphic novel. So what I'm going to do first is actually I'm going to think of an idea of what I want my graphic novel to be about. So I'm actually, like I said, I was going to surround my book around this funny book, Baloney and His Friends. I'm actually going to try, since we're not really drawing or writing or any of that nature, I'm just going to think to myself what I want my storyline to be about. So our lead character, at least for this example, is Baloney. And this shows you kind of how to draw it. You really don't have to use this if you don't really want to. You can, for all intents and purposes, you can even make your story about Diary of a Wimpy Kid, or just some stick figures hanging out, as long as it's something you can. A really great idea would be like, I know the summer was not really fun, but you can do like my life in quarantine, or you can do how I spent my summer, and you can draw like you and your sister, or you and your friends, or you and your family, and like kind of document what you did. That's another great idea. You can do a ton of different things for this. So yeah, there's like tons of different ideas. Or even if you are a big fan of Dogman, you can try recreating a scene from Dogman. That would be a really great idea to do. You can do a ton of different little fun things to do. So what I'm going to do first actually is I'm going to grab my panels, and I'm going to start planning kind of what I want. And I think for this one, I'm not going to use all of these panels. I'm actually only going to do 2 of them. So what I'm going to do is actually, since I don't want these to go to waste, I am actually just going to use these. And what I'm going to think about is so if I only have 20 pages worth of content, or if I'm only going to use 20 pages, then I would say, what do I want my storyline to begin? So I guess I'm going to start mine with probably Baloney and His Friends, and I'm going to document let's see. I'm going to document their summer vacation and what they did to enjoy the summer. And I'm probably going to do let's see, like what they did. So I'm actually only going to use 2 characters because I think I can only draw 2 of them. I'm probably going to use Baloney and Buzz for this one. So I'm going to think of like a storyline. I'm going to this is where like your imagination, your creativity come in. So like I said, I give you a really good prompt being, like what did I do for summer, or what am I going to do for the winter break, or what did I do during quarantine? That would be another really fun thing to do, to document. And then you think about it, and basically what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to flesh it out. I'm probably going to write it out, more of a writer, so I guess I'm going to write out like number 1. Baloney asks B what he wants to do. 2. 2 for summer. That would be like my first panel. And then, so yeah, I wrote it down, number 1. So then I'm gonna write number 2. I'm gonna be like, then that would be like the first 2 panels. And then the second panel would be like, Biz, I mean. His real name is Buzz. Biz tells Baloney that not much. He is just the not much. Let's just think about it. He may want to go to summer camp. Or think about, let's see. Or better yet, he wants to go to the mountains. But he's always wanted to go to Colorado. So I didn't do a very good job of writing it down. So then my next panel, so page 3, so like the next 2 sets of panels, so I'm going to, or the third next 2 panels, I'm going to write Biz and Baloney start packing. Oh no, Biz and Baloney's like, yes, Biz, that sounds like fun. All right, so that is my number 3. It's kind of sloppy, I'm sorry. And then for my number 4, so remember, I have to remember to myself that, like I said, I'm doing 20 pages worth of content, or 20 pages worth of like little panels. So then number 4, I'd be like, Biz and Baloney start packing for their fun trip. For their trip. We can like draw them packing and all that really fun stuff. And number 5, so that would be number 4. So then, or page number 4. And then page number 5, I can start building my story and continuously up to 20. So the idea is that you flesh out your story in a way and then plan by page. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Like page 1, Baloney asks Biz, what are we doing for summer? And then the second one would be like Biz and Baloney, like Biz says, oh, I'm not really doing much. However, I think I was going to go to summer camp, but Colorado, I've always wanted to go to the mountains in Colorado. So that would be page 2. Page 3 would be Baloney says, that's awesome. That sounds like fun. I'll join you. We'll go to the mountains. And then Biz goes, yay! And then that would be page 3. And then page 4 would be Biz and Baloney packing to go, or packing their stuff and getting ready to go, whether that's by plane or car. I'm probably going to do it by car. I'm going to try to draw a car. Actually, no, I'm going to draw a plane because I haven't been on a plane in a very long time. So yeah, you get the idea. Basically what you want to do is plan each page out. Don't worry so much about your drawing and all of that. Kind of focus on your characters and what your characters want to do, and what you want your characters to, like I said, do in the book. So for this one, I'm probably, like I said, I'm just going to do Biz and Baloney enjoying their summer vacation. So I thought that was kind of fun. So yeah, so that is pretty much about it for this segment of the video. For the second one, we're actually going to do the better part of it, which is putting it together, which is the writing and the drawing portion of this segment of this series. And we're actually going to draw on our book. So it's been a lot of planning. Like I said, in this video, I really didn't use the panels because I'm not much of a drawer myself. Like I said, I'm more of a writer. But you may choose to use your panels to like document how it is, kind of like practice. I'm probably going to, for our next segment, while we're gone, I'm probably going to try to draw the characters on here before I try to actually draw them on here in the actual book. So yeah, let me know if you need any help. I'm at the desk, at the children's desk anytime, and I'm always willing to help you put your graphic novel together. So yeah, have your stuff planned out or your storyline planned out for the next series, and I'm sure it's going to be great. So I'll see you then.